Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to Technical Session 5B. Myself, Priyanshi Goyal, and this session would be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 10th World Conference on Information Communication Systems, Software, Security, and Sustainability, WorldS4 2026, London, UK. The 10th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held yesterday in London, UK, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom from 29th to 30th of July 2026. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions through the day. In this session, we have 7 presentations. Each presenter will be given 12 minutes for the presentation and 3 minutes for question and answers. On 10 minutes, I'll raise a gentle reminder. I request everyone to kindly adhere to the designated time. I also request the participants to check their network so that there are no challenges in between the session and to turn on your cameras while you are presenting. Please make sure your mics are turned off when other participants are sharing their work. There's another request that you all stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or update, then you can write it to me in the chat box. Just before we start the session, I would like to introduce you all to the chair for this session, Dr. Navneet Sharma. Welcome, sir. Dr. Navneet Sharma is the head and associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and IT at IIS University, Jaipur. With over 23 years of extensive academic and research experience at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. He is actively associated with more than 15 universities and academic associations for various scholarly activities, including PhD, thesis evaluations. His research interests span e-commerce, cloud computing, and network security, and he has published over 25 research papers in reputed international journals. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Before commencing the session, I request you to share a few words of encouragements for our participants. Dr. Navneet? I think there's some technical glitch at sir's end. We will take on the remarks once he's available. For now, let's begin with the session. I would like to request Sir Segundo Moises to kindly present his paper titled IoT Monitoring with Blockchain for the Secure Recording of Environmental and Electrical Data, supported by Ecuadorian Legal Framework. Do we have you here with us, sir? Mr. Moises Swapanta, do we have you here with us? Am I audible? Can someone just let me know? Because I can see people in the meeting
Hi,
not responding.
hi
You
Priyanshi,
can,
you are audible. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
you are.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Uh, is anyone else from the team present?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Uh,
Yes, you can
yes,
share your screen now.
sure.
Yes. Yes, your screen is visible. Can you put it in presentation mode?
See, moment, please.
Sure. Yes,
My
it's
name is
visible.
Mose Tuapanta of Ecuador. A topic presentation IoT monitoring why blockchain for the security record the everywhere are electric data support by the Ecuador in the framework. Content introduction, program a project, overview, material and methods, result, future work, conclusion. Introduction. Information security and cybersecurity are the strategies aligned for digital transformation necessary according regulation framework Latin America, Ecuador, organization like all personal data protection, LOPDP, provides a legal program, lay the effectiveness is limited, fight security technical recursive protect constraints, and well-organized bodies. Program a project, connecting more, revising the minor energy, and everyone raise serious wonder data security integrate and scale. Overall, the objective in this research to present a system that modernly blockchain, YIOT, especifically design into cumpling white Ecuador organized rights in the practice of personal data. All OPDP material, the student integrated the analysis of Ecuador's digital legislation are international technical standard and transformation qualified legal mandate into technical system constraints. This project culminated in the system release of special literature with the empirical experimental accompanying ensuring that a proper framework achieves for the technical efficiency and legal compliance with the cybersecurity governance methods. The study employing the employee restrictive approach is the developing and diffusion IVIOT prototype. The experiment validates following the cause experiment AB, the scene of so Sendai, facility IOH reminding the ease of control group, project manager Watts, multi-data methodology, and revise agilely, work from Howard, integrates blockchain development from finals I nice six record dataset provide the imperative basically the validate technical performance and ensure compliance with the cryptography required by the Ecuador LOPDP. Um, Sensor total structure technical resort telematic time series ingression eight mode publication metrics and necessary confirmed anomalies or change option continue. Visualization alert, refer reference, single and reference anomalies on change alert configuration. Anomalies detects I notaries in the rugby evaluated rules and the rights confirm or change optional trace mitigate. Compilates audit fees to food the smart strong are the low legacy control. B IoT monitor infrastructure forward design process solution. This require AV OT monitor framework read and distributed sensor network read permission and blockchain data integrity and legal compliance several formulation designs. The system managed efficient wide operation the result time everyone result the 10 die experimental company carried the 1906 observation the intervention predicted activity mediante in the latency 182 37 when 19.5 percentage remains developed 214 The employee ABT system reliability 14.5% of IQR 14.1 comparing the comparison reference architecture confirm scale confirming relative monitor a Fury latency distribution Fury 3 latency distribution de Vasari versus proposed a Fury already pairs not in roles already index ability node a figure 5 detection performance ATR precision record discussion o resultados demuestran that privatization around P all RA layer role the technical and operation the 6.5% of energy overlay server the Friday freight the monitor trace benefits in the system provide average the CO2 levels drop 11.1% of values from the 100 PN 104 PN 0.05 figure say 6. This data point normally discharge performs in traves in the travelly and real times visibility learning to Bernie parity in design. Future work implementation in public organization in Ecuador to verify the performance and impact in the legal framework in the research project. Conclusion, the my
It's not audible.
contribution progressive already the change in the radio late recording the change on the digital fleet from smart contracts the architecture runs the integrity on the complicated regulatory future for in the system in the industrial everyone and viva hyper leader and incorporation lays in machine learning in the improving detection accuracy phase. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Uh, are there any questions? All right. I think there are no questions at the moment.
No
Thank you, sir, for your
problem.
presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Uh, moving forward,
Yes, am I
I
audible?
request, sorry, who is speaking? Okay, moving forward, I request Sir Mohammad Razul to kindly present his paper titled AI for Bilingual Arabic English Smishing Detection, a Bibliometric Review. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, just a second.
Can you allow me to share my?
Yes, please. You can share your screen now. Yes, sir, your screen is visible. Can you please put it in presentation mode?
Yeah, sure. That's one.
Yes, it's visible. You may start now.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. My name is Mohammed Rasul Saidat. I'm from the Faculty of Engineering and IT at the British University. This is joint work with Professor Khalid Sha'lan and Dr. Sulaiman Yurima. Our research is an AI bilingual Arabic English smishing detection bibliometric review. So let's proceed further. Smishing is simply phishing delivery of SMS, but the delivery channel is what make it dangerous. So social engineering attacks human trust, urgency. Sometimes it's not the software, so there is no exploit to patch. The vulnerability is the person. What is remarkable here is the composition, as you can see here, that in the right hand side, you'll see an example of a screen that show a fake parcel custom message that any one of us can have that one. As you see here, your parcel is held. You need to pay some amount of money for that custom. So this is a clear example of a smishing message that any one of us can have it, and especially that mobile channel works against the users where the phones hide the full URL and the true sender, so messages are read quickly and informally. Some people can trust these messages and hit that button immediately. So we need to deal with such type of attacks. The next slide, we will talk about the challenge. Okay, why bilingual Arabic and English is harder. Actually, in Gulf area and Levant, legitimate SMS traffic is generally bilingual. A normal messages, we are sending both Arabic and English together on the same message. So you have the brand name sometimes in Arabic and the English in URL. So we have Arabic verbs, Arabic digits, Latin short codes, all in one text. This is the baseline, not only the exception. So, which means that a malicious messages can code the switch between English bank name and Arabic command. This breaks single language detectors from both sides. So English only models are good for English language. That's why we start thinking to develop a new framework that can be able to deal with both Arabic and English language together. And I just want to highlight something that the verbs like claim, call, or win and the dialectic framing that carries sometimes are manipulated. That's why you need a strong system to deal with. The Arabic morphology is one of the main issues that add a real linguistic load. It's it has rich, inflected, and root patterned morphology. Attached also ecletics or operational diacritics. All of these are affecting the Arabic language nature. So, on the top of that, four plus dialectics diverge from modern standard Arabic. So that's why there is Arabizi, which is speaking English in Arabic language or Arabic letters, where Arabic is is written in Latin letters and digits. These are examples of the main issue for the Arabic nature language. As I said before, in our research, what we are trying to do is we have four objectives, each with the research question. First, we map the evolution of the field from rules and classical machine learning into a deep learning, transformers, and LLM or large language models. The second research question is we are trying to isolate the technical requirements specific to Arabic English language. And the third one is that we are trying to audit the public Arabic SMS datasets behind earlier hybrid CNN or by LSTM studies. Finally, we are trying to propose a research agenda for detection that is deployable and expandable, and we can trust such that it can be robust. Uh, this is the methodology actually. The method we have working on this research is two things. First, Prisma style screening and bibliometric mapping. We start with a parent field. So we have roughly 1,000, as you see here, 96 Web of Science records of AI, machine learning, deep learning, NLP, phishing detection, and we try to narrow them conceptually toward SMS, smishing, and bilingual text. This gives us 84 candidates. studies and 64 retained. Second thing is that we try an empirical answer where public GitHub corpus of English SMS with Arabic translation derived from UCI SMS spam collection is translated within ChatGPT 3.5 model. Several records have been continued lines also, and such that we can have able to translate these, I would say, messages online. Next, I want to talk about the experimental protocol we are following. For a fully reproducible baseline, we used, I will say, a straightforward threefold access validation. Number one, we compared three representations: English only, Arabic only. Then we compared all together. Okay, using have different techniques like character TF-IDF and anagrams, specifically 3 to 4 grams with linear classifier. Alongside that, a handcraft security feature set like indicators for URL, phone numbers, short codes, and currency, Arabic and Latin character ratios are also considered. I just want to highlight that one metric point matters here is that smishing recall is security critical. So false negative is the number that we reached for the users. So if there is any miss for potential compromises, it should be registered. Precision matters too, also as well, but mainly to control the and alert any I will say types of lenses that related for recall phase. Let's go to the results that we got. So for the as you see here, the evolution have three clear phases. From 2005 till 2015, the field run on rules, blacklist, keywords matching. Okay, and they are using different techniques like naive, SVM, and so on, decision tree. But from 2016 to 2020, they emphasize shift to representation learning. So random forests and XG boost, then CNN, LSTMS, these I will say deep learning mechanisms and hybrid one are utilized very well. But from 2021 to 2025, LLMs coming, so transformers, multi-language encoders, LLM assist, AI agents. All of these are coming as techniques that help us to move forward. By the way, each one of them have its good and bad impacts, and it's highlighted here. Just want to move quickly because of the time sensitivity, time shortage. So for this slide represent the thematic map, which is positioned to topics by two axes. Centrality, which is related for how relevant theme is, and density, which shows how we developed it. As you see here, motor themes, top right, are both central and well developed. Social engineering and NLP smishing are taken into consideration. Basic themes, bottom right, also are centralized but foundational. Machine learning, deep learning, feature engineering are taken into consideration. The telling quadrant is niche because in the top left, as you see, the BTR, the XLMR, the large language models, and XGBoost are developed in general NLP, but not yet integrated into Arabic English smashing pipeline. So the gap here is that it's specified and actionable. So having transformers and LLM using and dealing with Arabic language is open a
It's a
frontier for.
gentle 10 minutes reminder.
Okay, so I'll move quickly to the, as you see here, these are the dataset security audits, which can show the Arabic field corpus, how we are dealing with the characters, and what are the security cues over overwhelming spams. Two lessons we can learn from here is that the positive one, script mixing is genuine detection signal, but it doesn't strip from pre-processing nouns. The curiosity we should take care of is that there is some cues that are such strong and affecting the models, which should be considered. These are the classical baseline matches, and we are having, and we compare the accuracy results with the F1 score. As you see here, the bilingual character SVM score better than the hybrid CNN model. Also, we move into the how we making the detectors that are implemented inside this one for answering the research question number 4. The security normalization, Arabic NLP normalization is also considered, such that we are dealing with the nature of Arabic language, and having the right representation learning technique lead us to get better results. Also, the attacks that come to us, like zero width joiners and Arabic Latin homography, are dealt by implementing different types of hybrid model. And we see that implementing LLMs cut both ways. I mean, having a dual representation and having a better attack surface, because it will act quickly and be able to explain intent in a very quick way. At the end, beyond the what we think it's very important to be considered is that it's very important to first understand the developed area of the Unicode, and make sure that we are able to deal with different adversarial robustness. So attackers can insert zero with joiners, but they will be able to I will say, work on different techniques. That's why it's very important to adopt the right deep learning technique in such type of models. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful presentation. Are there any questions?
Yes. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Thank you. Mohammed Rasul, I have one question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Can we transform your model with multilingual process? Is there any options available?
Yes, of course. Again, can I ask you what type of language you are using? You mean Arabic, Hindi, for example?
Yes.
Other models you mean?
If we are processing this model in more than 2 or 3 languages, then
Yes, yes. Dr.
can we
Naveed,
process?
the answer, yes, we can do that. And why? Because we will take the original text that generated, for example, in Hindu language or Hindi language into, and translate it into English. So the model, as I said, is that we are utilizing the LLM to translate the messages online, then let the translate it into English, then let the model to work on that one immediately.
So
That's
it
why
would
it's
be a 3-layered process in that case.
yes. That's why if you translate it into English language, you will be able to deal with it instantly.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Very
Thank
nice
you.
presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Moving forward, I would like to request Sir Moasis Swabanta to present his second paper for the session, titled Integrated Cybersecurity Governance Model Based on Public Administration and Legal Foundations for Higher Education Institutions in Ecuador. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Moment, please.
Yes.
Excuse me, can the audience quit if there is an urgent issue, or it's mandatory to stay there?
Sorry.
I mean, the participants can, as a participants, can I quit for 5 minutes or 10 minutes if there is an urgent
Yeah,
thing?
sure. Yeah, you
Thank
can
you.
rejoin. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Share comparison.
Yes, your screen is visible, sir. Can you show your presentation? Yes.
Yes.
You may start.
My topic iterates cybersecurity governance model based in public administration and the legal fundamentation in higher education institution in Ecuador. Content introduction, problem a project, overall, materials and methods, result, future work, conclusion. Introduction, cybersecurity governance in higher education institution held in the Ecuador finds persistent change, information and communication technology and relates varying in operation tools, which should adequate integrity or international standard of a legal configuration his distribution process. This situation general his vulnerability on the tracks to the pricing ransomware and data rate. A problem a project higher education institution in Ecuador face persistent trends in the cybersecurity governance public administration and the legal framework. Despite technology advance in the evolution in the internet, cybersecurity is still trying in the modeling operation ensure within adequate in the internet legal administrative framework in institution and process. Overall, the objective of this research in this defined integrated model, cybersecurity, governance, public administration, and legal implementation from Ecuador. Materials. The material used comprising the published inside database such as scope and website, equalize, regulation, provision, and ministerial agreement in the international cybersecurity standard. A deductivo method in the mixed research project combines quantitative and qualitative components. Method. The methodology and structure interflows internalize fast the ensuring the replicability in the student only higher education institution in Ecuador or Latin America, defines the progression and triangulation of the three main outcomes indicators in the integral model and simulation on methodology scenario. For phase methodology for model developing, phase one, nombre syntax review, tormenting framework. Phase two, indicador design. Phase three, construction the integral model. Phase four, simulation and validation. Fact one, beginning the system review the literature provision ranking in 20A and 2025 analysis ecuatoriano legal framework introduction 2024 contribution in 2026 organization cybersecurity and lay 2021 organized personal data protection 2025 componentes organization criminal code and ACCS verse 3.0 phase 2 developing the 55 qualitative and qualitative indicator in the operation governance phase 3 integrated the fields into the replic three-level model technical administration and legal phase 4 validate model from simulation across four scenarios using a scale from 0 to 100 point. I overnight destroys a 75 point result. Integral cybersecurity governance model. The proposed integral model is structured in the three hierarchical and integrated level. Level 1, technical. Level 2, administration. Level 3, legal fundamentation. This multiple architecture enabling alignment or institution strategy with ICT strategy, ensuring inflation and regulation compliance in the Ecuador and higher education. The model is runs in the next CSF 2.0 COVID 2029 ACCH verse 3.0 and the 2022-2025 National Cybersecurity Strategy simulation ARCOS project scenario to determine well the model in the optimal for implementation in the Equatorial Higher Education Institution for simulation seminar igual desigual based in the 55 indicator 8 indicadores deployed on the scale from point to 5, right from very low, very wide, and the final score the normally in scale from 0 to 100 points. The optimal result is set 25 points in according the international standard for the ITU Global Security Index 2024 and the review the governance framework discussion, the 55 interesting indicator revealed in the cybersecurity governance in the Ecuador higher education institution require a three-dimensional perspective, technical, administration, and legal. This comprehensive approach goes the exclusive technical perspective here they are from the trust or the comparison the multi-hall framework proposed for Noverking and a hall, confirming the dimension cap the address in short. Future work, future work including the primary validation of the integral model conclusive pillar implementation of last three Ecuadorian high education institutions from different regions, the incorporation of artificial intelligence for practicing threat detection and developing in the institution certification system based on and the 15 pounds problems indicators in according wise in the 2026 organization organic security line and the ITU global cybersecurity in the 2024 conclusion. It is concluded that cybersecurity governance in higher education translate the institutional expression becomes international public policy change in the wise the linear on the model the wise the 2025-23 digital transformation political international cooperation through CXC IRCs are determination factors so typical technical human and operation or recursive field deficient and effective. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions?
No, not from my side.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, sir. Thank you, sir. Moving forward, I would like to request Sir Eric Khan to kindly present his paper titled Printed Circuit Board Component Detection using a modified RCNN framework. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Yes, I'm here. So,
Yes, just give me a second.
my
You can share your screen now.
all right. So let me share my screen. All right.
Yes, your screen is
So-
visible. You may start.
All right. So maybe good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Eric, and this work was conducted together with Dr. Wee In from the Faculty of Information Science and Technologies at Multimedia University. So today I will present our modified RCNN framework for detecting integrated circuits components in printed circuit board images. So the main result is straightforward. By replacing the generic regions proposals with color-guided proposals and combining a Bayesian CNN with and SVM classifier. So we improved the mean average precisions from 0.43 to 0.613. So let me begin with why PCB inspections is a challenging problem. So modern printed circuit boards are becoming increasingly dense with components placed very close together at a fine pitch. So many components also look visually similar, so they may share the same color, appear in repeated shapes, or be partially blocked by neighboring components. So in addition, lighting is rarely uniform across the entire board surface, which can further affect component visibility. So manual inspection is slow, subjective, and difficult to scale to industrial productions volumes. Reliable components detections is also important beyond defect inspections. So it supports automated optical inspections, hardware assurance, repair verifications, and electronic waste recycling. So existing approaches can generally be divided into two categories. The first is classical image processing, including color thresholding, texture analysis, edge detections, and template matchings. So these methods are computationally efficient, but they usually require careful parameters tuning for each board. So their performance can also decrease significantly when the lighting conditions, board design, or component appearance changes. So the second category is region-based deep learning detections. So RCNN is attractive because it separates object localizations from classifications. However, conventional RCNN depends on selective search, which is a generic proposal generation method rather than one designed specifically for PCB images. So on a dense circuit boards, selective search often generates a large number of irrelevant regions that do not contain components. Furthermore, deterministic CNN can become overconfident when processing the small and visually ambiguous image patches commonly found in PCB inspections. So to address these issues, this work makes 4 contributions. First, we propose a PCB-specific modified RCNN framework for integrated circuit detections. Second, we introduce color-guided regions proposal generations based on the visual characteristics of IC packages and metallic components. Third, we combine Bayesian CNN feature extractions with an SVM classifier to distinguish IC components from background regions. And finally, we evaluate the proposed framework using intersections over unions and mean average precisions and compare it against conventional RCNN with selective search and YOLO-based detector. So this slide shows the complete detection pipeline. So the first stage is board regions extractions. A foreground mask is used to isolate the PCB from the surrounding backgrounds. The board is then cropped so that all subsequent processing is restricted to the board surface. So the second stage is color-guided proposal generations. Instead of using selective search, we create binary masks for dark and silver regions. So this color represents 2 common visual characteristics of IC packages and metallic content. The masks are combined and converted into the candidate's bounding box. So in the third stage, every candidate regions is resized to 224 by 224 pixels and passes through a Bayesian CNN to obtain a feature representations. So finally, a linear SVM classifiers each proposes as either an IC component or background. So an important feature of this framework is its modular design because proposal generations, feature extractions, and classifications are handled separately. So we can identify whether an error originates from the proposal stage, the feature representations, or the final classifiers. So this is particularly useful for inspection systems. So where understandings why a component was missed can be as important as the final detection score. All right, so let us look more closely at the first 2 stages. On the left is the board regions extractions process. The original photograph may include the workbench, surrounding objects, and their irrelevant background informations. So the foreground mask identify the main PCB regions after which we calculate its bounding rectangle and crop the image. So this reduces the background clutter and significantly limits the area that must be searched. So on the right is the color guided proposal process. We create a binary mask whenever a pixel falls between predefined lower and upper color thresholds. One mask is generated for dark regions, and while another is generated for silver regions. So we can take the union of these masks and extract the connects regions to obtain candidates bounding box shown in red. So compared to selective search, these proposals are more likely to correspond to actual PCB components rather than arbitrary image regions. So the third stage is Bayesian CNN features. So the main difference between a Bayesian CNN and a conventional CNN is how the network weights are represented. So in a standard CNN, each weight is treated as a fixed values. In our Bayesian CNN, selected weights are represented as probability distributions. So because the true posterior distributions over the weights is difficult to calculate directly, we approximate it using a variational distributions. So trading them minimize the divergence between the approximate distributions and the true posteriors. So during predictions, we perform a multiple Monte Carlo forward passes by sampling from the learned weight distributions. The output of these passes are then averaged. So this allows the model represent uncertainty instead of producing one deterministic predictions. So the training objective combines the classifications likelihood with a weight callback label, regularizations, terms, and network is optimized using Adam. So as shown on the right, the input patch passes through a reparameterized convolutional layer followed by the three convolutional and pooling blocks. So the output is then flattened and passed through the dense layers. So we use the activations from the penultimate layers as the feature vectors denoted by the bracket of Z for each region proposal. So once the Bayesian network has been trained, its feature extractions layer are frozen. So the network is then used a fixed feature encoder. In other words, each candidate's proposal is converted into a feature vectors without further updating the Bayesian CNN parameters. So a soft margins linear SVM is trained using these feature vectors to separate IC components from the background regions. The SVM produces a sign distance from the decision boundary. This distance is converted into a confidence scores between 0 and 1. So if the confidence score is greater than a threshold denoted by ETA, the proposal is retained and displayed as an IC detection. If the score is below the threshold, the proposal is classified as a background and removed. So the figure shows the experiment of both retained and rejected proposal. So for evaluation, we use the PCB components dataset published by Zhao and colleague in 2022. The dataset contains PCB images with bounding box annotations and annotation for integrated circuit component. For more than 160 available images, we select a subset of 50 images. So we exclude two types of image. First, we remove the image that did not contain any IC components because they provided no positive detections instances. So second, we exclude images captures at viewing angles of 45, 135, and 225 degrees. So at these angles, strong perspective distortion significantly reduce the visibility of the IC components. So for training, positive patches were cropped directly from the annotate IC regions as shown at the bottom left, and the negative patches were sampled from the background regions elsewhere on the PCB. So we use intersections over unions to evaluate localizations quality and mean average precisions to measure the overall detection performance. So this slide presents the main qualitative results. So ICN using selective search in a fast mode achieve a mean average precision of 0.392. When selective search is changed to quality mode, the score improved to 0.430. This shows that generating a more detailed proposal is beneficial, although the proposal remains generic. So our proposed framework achieved a mean average precision of 0.613. This represents an absolute improvement of 0.221 over selective search in fast mode and
Gentle 10 minutes reminder.
Okay, and 0.183 over the selective search in quality mode. I also like to present the comparisons with the YOLO transparently. YOLO achieved the highest score with a mean average precision of 0.686. This is 0.073 higher than our proposed framework. So YOLO benefits from dense end-to-end detections and multi-scale predictions. Therefore, our method does not outperform YOLO in terms of raw detection accuracy. However, accuracy is not the only considerations in an inspection system. As I will explain in the following slides, the modular structures of our framework offers greater visibility into how and where detections failure occurs. So this slide shows the qualitative example of our detections output. So the predicted bounding box are shown in red together with their confidence scores.
Can you move on to your previous slide?
Sorry?
Can you move on to your previous slide?
Previous slides.
Illustration
Okay.
of the graph.
This one is the qualitative results. Is it
Previous one.
Okay.
Yeah, Eric, can you differentiate again between this RCNN SS quality and your proposed modified RCNN? Why it is showing much difference?
You mean like RCNN selective search fast and RCNN selective search quality?
And in your proposed modified RCNN.
All right. So in RCNN
selective 0, it means there's a higher gap.
Yeah, it's a high gap. So in RCNN selective search, they use the selective search. Selective search which means that it will go through window by window. It will go through window by windows, and it will select only the component. It will detect the component. But in our proposed modified, the main difference is for these color guided regions. Sorry, I will go back to something like this. We use the color mask candidate boxes. So we just mask out the color first, then only we use the bounding box. And after we using this bounding box, we use it to predict instead of using the selective search. Selective search will go through the whole images, maybe like pixel by pixel. This is the main difference between our proposed method and the RCNN with the selective search.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So this slide shows maybe this is the limitations. These 3 limitations. First, the color guided proposal stage depends on the predefined threshold. So as a result, it may be sensitive to illumination changes or to components whose colors fall outside the selected range. So the second, current framework performs single class detections. It localizes IC components, but it does not distinguish between different IC types or detect others components categories. So third, although the modular pipeline improved the interpretability, is not trained end-to-end. Therefore, an error made during proposal degenerations is passed to later stage and cannot be corrected by the feature extractions or classifier. So this limitation lead directly to several directions for future work. This includes adaptive or learn color models, multi-class annotation covering passive components and connectors, better calibrate confidence scores derived from the Bayesian posteriors, and evaluation using larger and more diverse PCB dataset. So last will be the conclusions. To conclude, this work demonstrates that PCB's specific region proposal can improve IC detections, replacing the selective search with the color-guided proposal. Generations increase mean average precision from 0.430 to 0.613. Yeah. So currently will be something like this first.
Thank you.
Thank
Eric.
you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
No, I have already asked. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Thank you, Eric.
Okay. Thank you.
Moving forward, I would like to request Sir Chandravadan to kindly present his paper titled The Future of Sustainable Power in India with Global Perspective. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Yes, I'm available. Yeah.
All right. Can you please share your screen?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Is it visible, ma'am?
Uh, yes, sir, it's visible. You may start.
Good morning, all, and thank you for giving opportunity for presenting this paper. And thank you, team. This is all about I'm going to talk about today with respect to India's future sustainable power requirement. The issue is whenever power we talk about, it's always we talk about RES, that is renewable energy sources. But as we go on deep into this, then we realize that there are certain limitations which renewable power sources are offering. And that's why the research is all around that. In fact, my research gap was that only, that is any study been done with respect to that? So that, and being the less study was done, that's why I have taken this as a choice topic for our discussion today or presenting this paper. Lot of research been done, being I'm from the nuclear field and then entered into aviation and other corporate domain field. And that's why I found this kind of topics are very close to my heart, and that's why it has been written along with Miss Aditi, who is with EY currently. So now, if you look at there is a power shortage in India, and post 2020, basically, the government has moved towards 2014 onwards. After Paris Agreement, government emphasized on RES, that is renewable energy sources, especially solar and wind, to the large extent, and that's why whatever the target government kept, that something around 175 megawatt by 2022. Almost India about to reach that target has been achieved overall, we can say. So let's look at how the things have moved. You can see in current latest agreement in Paris agreement, Government of India has already agreed by 2070, India will be the net zero. And that is why to achieve that net zero, how it can be achieved? What combination of fuel will work? That is what we are discussing over here. If you look at over here, what the literature survey being used, these books and many various ministerial document has been known. That is Ministry of New and Renewable Energies documents plus International Energy Agency. Its documents also been used for doing the research and all. Really, this research was quite enlightening for us. And obviously, whatever the recommendations we are mentioning in this research, if it is used globally, I think it will be a game changer for all the companies and all the governments, as well as the MSME and all the industries in those countries, because the repercussions we'll be discussing over here shortly. So research gap, as I told you, this paper is always talking about the energy mix with RES and nuclear. Instead of RES stands for renewable energy plus the fossil fuels, because fossil fuels are causing a lot of GHG emission, that is greenhouse gas emission and all. It is spoiling the environment and all. So and nuclear is much better as compared to these fossil fuels and all. All the data statistics I'm going to discuss over here. And that is why the research objective is kept something like that, assess India's ability to meet future demand, because it's the country which is growing by almost around 7% growth rate and all in GDP. And that's why we need a lot of energy and all at minimum cost, not necessarily minimum, but optimal cost. That is what it is required, because any higher cost, it is going to hamper the growth of the industries in this country. And that's what energy mix works for India, that also we are going to discuss over here. So recommending the optimal and sustainable energy mix, that is our objective. So what we have done, basically, we have seen what has been happening basically post 2014 Paris Agreement and all. So you can see over here, we have been consistently increasing our renewable energy sources, wind power, solar power, and small hydro and all. It's inconsistently increasing, almost to 36 gigawatt out of almost 485 gigawatt of installed capacity. This is one of the best installed capacity India is having, and it is consistently increasing. So if it is, we'll look at it. So try to understand this particular thing installed capacity wise. In 2014, we were 74% fossil fuel based power generation we were having. And today, in after 12 years, if we see, India has moved over 48% of the energy is coming from 48.6% from the fossil fuel. And non-fossil fuels, which was around 18-19%, which has moved to 51.37. So large scale adoption of solar was done in India thanks to government policies. Because of Paris Agreement, government implemented some a lot of benefits to the offered to the companies and all, including cash incentive. Rather than a cash incentive, we can say the depreciation incentive, almost 60% given and all, so that many industries adopted that. So now, if you see over here, if I am marking over 48% is fossil fuel and call a contribution 51% is non-fossil fuel. But when I talk about actual RE generation, that is renewable energy generation, and in the total power generation, if you see, only 22% of power is coming from the renewable energy, the right hand, this particular graph. So when it is 51% capacity wise, installed capacity wise, but 22% only in actual generation. Why so? And obviously, when we started researching, we found out that solar is not available throughout the year, and even daytime only it is available, nighttime it is not available. India is having monsoon, so almost 60 to 65 days there is dearth of solar energy and all. Likewise, wind is also having limited capacity. It's all depends upon the wind direction, so that the actual power generation is not happening in this case. So what is to be done? And that is why how it can be supported. Can we use fossil fuel for more power generation to maintain the cost effective? So definitely that is not the answer. And that's why we were looking for the alternative option. So if you look at over here, again, this is IEA document. If you see over here, how much is the life cycle this GHG gas emission and all. If you see over here, the life cycle generation of basically this particular thing, sorry, nuclear is 3.7 as compared to others. So what I'm trying to say, it is overall emission by the gas powered, nuclear power is very less as compared to anything else. So why not to use nuclear in place of coal? Because coal is causing very high GHG gas emission, whereas nuclear is hardly anything, 3.7. That to life cycle emission we are talking about. And being I'm from this industry, so that's why I was with BARC, Nuclear Power Corporation of India, and that's why I'm sure about whatever the data is there, it has a base of that. And how much, this one greenhouse we used to develop, how much it is getting contaminated. Obviously, there will be a lot of questions will be raised with respect to nuclear safety and all. But if you see, the nuclear safety, lot of care being taken by WANO and many agencies involved over here. Overall, all the organizations in the world are concerned about that. And if you look at that, the number of disasters and those kind of ratios, manpower, deaths and all, even if all those parameters, nuclear is not that bad. And in fact, GHG gas emission, it is one of the best you can see, including it is at par with solar and other power renewable energies. So, and that's what I suggest, this energy mix being suggested. Now, if you look little ahead, so how it worked. So now, when we have started energy, India imports 80% of oil and all for our domestic consumption and all. In overall energy requirement, if you see, India uses 46% from the this coal-based energy we use for industries. This is overall in the energy consumption, not only electricity we are talking about. Oil products, again 24%. That means again fossil fuel for industry applications also we are using. And that is why always this percentage of renewable energy in actual power generation has to be increased. And even though it will go on increasing and increasing, but the issue is with respect to its limited capacity, and it cannot act as a base load plant. When I say base load and peak load plant, see daytime when the industries are working and all, at that time solar can act as a peak load plants and all. It can kind of give daytime, but nighttime it cannot operate. So obviously you will say that battery banks and all can be installed, but again, it's an additional cost. So these additional costs, how it is hurting to the industries, I will show you one of the graph, which is very much self-explainable. That is per unit power rate, if I comparable with India, if I will do, in India it is 0.08 dollar. That means if I will convert it to something around 4 or 5 uh, rupees per kWh per unit of power. But when I see over here Germany, who after a 2013 Fukushima reactor issue, I mean blast
It's
and
a
all.
gentle 10 minutes reminder.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding. So after that, immediately the power tariff increased because Germany government stopped all the nuclear reactors and the power rate suddenly rose to the substantial extent and almost 35 rupees per kWh, which resulted into the complete SMEs in Europe and I mean basically Germany to close down, and they had to reduce their capacity and all because cost of production increased drastically and they couldn't able to manage. And that resulted into degrowth of the economy. I mean, it stopped growing at all. Whereas in India, where the power rates are cheap, India and this one, China, their power rates are relatively very cheap, and that's why industries are doing very well. So to have the industry doing well, the energy mix, what is being suggested in this article is that it should be renewable has to be supported with nuclear instead of fossil fuels. You can see over here Pearson correlation being done, whether it is there or not, and there is significant relation between the average tariff and the percentage of nuclear. That is what we could able to find out after the data analysis and all. And the expected outcome which had come, we got the evidence that nuclear has to be used. And surprisingly, I will just add on that even now Abu Dhabi government also came out with nuclear energy as one of the source. They have set up their power plant and all. Well, recently it has been commissioned, and that's why now after this so much of data, I am open for the question and answer session. Yeah, and thank you for giving opportunity, professors, and all the respected dignitaries, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful presentation. Are there any questions?
No, ma'am, not from my side.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Dr. Osama Hamid from Abu Dhabi. You
Yes, sir.
mentioned that you mentioned, Doctor, that Abu Dhabi is starting to do something, a kind of collaboration in
Yeah.
this field. Do you have? Are you involved in this type of collaboration?
Right now, I am not involved, but earlier I used
Mm.
to be when I was working with. Right now, I shifted to academia, and
Yes.
that's why right now I am not doing over there. But
So
otherwise, earlier I used to be. Yeah.
yes, and yes. So probably, if you are interested, probably it would be good that we connect and
Sure, sir.
we see what we can
Yeah.
do together.
Sure, sir. I'm very much interested. You can please connect with me. I'm over LinkedIn also. If required, I will share my email ID and this one coordinates on
Yes,
WhatsApp here
thank
only.
you.
Message itself, I
Yeah,
will put it up.
thank
Sorry
you.
to interrupt, sir. I request you take this conversation forward in the DM.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Moving forward, is my screen visible? Yes. Moving forward, I request Ma'am Monica Cruz to kindly present her paper titled Understanding the Educational Metaverse, Concepts, Constraints, and Technologies. Do we have you here with us, ma'am? Ma'am, you're not audible. I can see your camera on, but I cannot hear you.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible now.
Okay.
Can you please share your screen?
Yes, I'll share it.
Yes, your screen is visible. Can you
Okay.
do it in the presentation mode?
Yeah, is it okay now?
No, can you just put it in a slideshow mode?
Is it okay now?
Ma'am, it's still not in the slideshow.
Strange, because my part is, let me stop sharing and start sharing again. Okay. Let's share everything. And it's green. Is this okay now?
Yes, it's okay. You can start your
Okay,
presentation.
thank you. Hello all, good morning or good afternoon. So my name is Monica Cruz and I'm presenting a study developed in collaboration with Abílio Oliveira and Ricardo Dias at ISCTE and PSTAR Research Unit in Lisbon, Portugal. So this study addresses the question, what is the metaverse when we talk about higher education? What do we already know based on scientific research about how it's being used? So why does the metaverse matters for higher education? So the metaverse in education is far more than an idea of the virtual reality goggles. So it's a persistent three-dimensional interactive digital environment where virtual, augmented, mixed, and extended reality converge into a single continuous space that keeps existing when the user logs off. What matters is not the technology itself, but what it can enable. So learning by doing, collaborating remotely, as if in the same room, and experience situations that would be too expensive or too dangerous or impossible in a traditional classroom. For example, as a medical student practicing a procedure, or an engineer student assembling a structure that could never bring into the room, or even an history class walking to a restructure site. So higher education is the natural place to study this. University students adopt these tools earliest. Courses are already experimenting with immersing activities, and the promises of the metaverse is therefore tested here first. That is why the study focuses on this level rather than on school or informal learning. So our research question is trying to understand how is the metaverse being represented, characterized, and applied within higher education. And we had three objectives. One was to identify how the metaverse is represented and conceptualized in educational literature. The second was to analyze the dimensions that facilitate or hinder the adoption of the metaverse technology in education. And the third one, identify the leading metaverse related technology uses in education. So research in this area has grown rapidly and it can be organized into three areas. The pedagogical fronts that covers real applications like simulations, collaboration, experiential learning, and gamified activities, for example. The technological fronts that covers the infrastructure that sustains them, from artificial intelligence and digital twins to the Internet of Everything. And the adoption front shows that the student's acceptance depends on perceived usefulness, ease of use, the sense of immersion, and the social presence, often modeled by the extended of the technology acceptance model. So the field nonetheless remains fragmented because there's many definitions that vary from study to study to the point where authors are not always describing the same thing. Technological frameworks are applied inconsistently and empirical findings differs across disciplines. We also have the idea that ethical, social, and accessibility questions are almost left unexplored. And so there is not specifically shortage on studies. There is a shortage of order among them, and that gap is what this works is set to disclose. So our study is a documental meta-analysis guide by the PRISMA protocol. We search for database, Google Scholar, Beyond, Scopes, and E3E, using terms such as metaverse, higher education, immersive learning, and virtual classrooms. We included articles published between 2021 and 2025, written in English, explicitly framed around the metaverse set in higher education context, and with enough methodological details to access. As an exclusion criterion, we used inaccessible. For full text, they were not available. Aimed at other education levels, lacked genuine metaverse framing, or came from non-academic source. And so for our study, we only use two parts of the extracted file, extracted articles. The introductions that states the outer premises and definitions, and the conclusions that states what they actually found. These were considered by us the most revealing sections of the academical articles. So we use them and analyze these texts with Voyant tools, which surface word frequency, co-occurrence, and conceptual clusters that manual readings cannot capture. As you can see here in the diagram, the Prisma diagram, we began with more than 70,000 records, and after the Prisma's process, we ended up with only 22 that were formed within our exclusion and inclusion criteria. So regarding the analysis of the introductions, the most highlighted words were the metaverse, virtual learning, technology, and education. So we can see here the metaverse framed first as a technological and spatial construct, as a virtual world or environment, and almost always discussed in explicitly pedagogical terms. As from the conclusions, we can see here that the most frequent words were metaverse, education, technology, learning, and studies. The students that converge here on a pedagogical and technological implications, keeping the learning central, and turn forward-looking with research, new and future, that marking an emerging field. So regarding here our objectives, so identify how the metaverse is represented. This we found that the metaverse is framed as a social technical learning ecosystems that merge physical and virtual dimensions, and also here as a technological reach and has a pedagogical diffuse among the students or the higher education. As what facilitates the INDER and its adoption, it turns again as the usefulness, easy of use, immersion, and social presence, as our background in literature already mentioned, and the structural and ethical barriers that still stay unexplored. As for the leading metaverse technology, here we have virtual reality and augmented reality, as well as virtual classrooms, avatars, and immersive 3D spaces dominant. This normally tied up with experiential learning, simulations, and collaborations. So regarding our research question, how is the metaverse being represented, characterized, and applied within higher education contexts? So the education metaverse is an hybrid immersed in a social rich space marked by conceptual ambiguity and uneven adoption. There is an enthusiasm and there are tools, but the promise has yet to become validated by practice. And the barriers that would make it equitable are still to be understood. As for implications in future work, so regarding the practice, there is still to be invested in a genuinely accessible infrastructure and hardware, build digital literacy training for both students and teachers. There's still a line of immersion technology within real learning outcomes, and they embed privacy and accessibility in institutional policy. As for the research, there is some of the suggestions to gather more empirical evidence on the long-term learning outcomes develop common frameworks that reduce the conceptual ambiguity, and study accessibility and inclusions. So the metaverse does not widen existing inequality. I also want to make here the notice that the metaverse is still something that is still on development, and even when we follow the literature, there's not a consensus at present developers regarding its own with its own possibilities. Probably we still need to see how it's going to be developed.
Reminder.
Yes. And so there is a lot of potential and still a lot of space for research growing within this part. So learning evolves fastest when imagination and evidence walk side by side. And here the metaverse provides us the imagination. So ensuring the evidence is the responsibility of researchers and educations. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Ma'am Monica. Are there any questions?
What is your specific contribution towards this metaverse model? Have you proposed any model, Monica?
So this study specifically, I did not propose any model. This study is a part of my PhD, and there we started as the metaverse, but regarding the gaming. But since we were on in an university level, my coordinator, I would say this, he proposed that we try to understand how this mitigates within the university. So here, this was more like an explorative study to understand where is being represented at higher education. So there is still no model, but who knows in the future if we can propose some.
Okay, all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Moving forward, for the last presentation of the session, I would like to request Sir Osama Hamid to kindly present his paper titled A Threat Model-Driven Architectural Framework for Motion-Based Facial Authentication in Secure Web Systems. Do we have you here with us, sir? Is there anyone else from the team present?
Yes.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Yeah, just
Hello. Will you be presenting, sir?
can you hear me now?
Sir, your voice is breaking a lot. Can you please write it in chat?
Can you hear me now?
So you're not audible. Can you please type in chat?
Hello? Hello?
Sir, you're not audible. Your voice is breaking a lot. Can you please type in chat?
Hello?
So you're not audible and we are running out of time. If you can write in the chat, that would be great. Otherwise, I will need to skip this presentation. Since there's no response, we'll be moving forward with closing the session. So you can type your query in the chat. We can take it forward either in the next session or like find a solution accordingly. So with that, we come to a conclusion for this session. I sincerely thank all the authors for their excellent presentations and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. We, on behalf of the whole team, thank you for supporting the 10th version and all the previous 9 versions of the conference. We'll be happy to have you in the 11th version next year in 2027 as well. A couple of things for everyone to note. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. The publication will be live within 7 to 8 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of WorldS4 2026. I would also like to thank our session chair, Dr. Navneet Sharma, for chairing the session. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and sharing your insights. Here's a small token of appreciation from the team of WorldS4 and Global Knowledge Resource Foundation and partners. Before ending the session, I would like to request sir to share a few words from his end.
Thank you so much, Priyanshi. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to join as a session chair for this wonderful conference.
Priyanshi, can you hear?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes. So thank you so much, the GR Foundation team,
Priyanshi?
to organize this such kind of great conference. I think this is 10th version of this conference, and I'm very much thankful to be the part of this conference 10th time. Thank you so much, the entire team, for the great success of this conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Before ending, Sir Osama Hamid. Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Your voice is breaking a lot.
Now.
Your voice is breaking a lot.
Yes, I presented the paper yesterday in the physical session.
I am not able to hear you, sir.
Okay, I'm typing in the chat. I'm typing in the chat once again. I'm typing. Look at the chat, please. Typing in the chat.
Yes, please.
I presented. Look in the chat, please. Look in the chat.
I am seeing the chat.
The paper yesterday in the physical session. Did you see the chat, Priyanshi?
Yes, I've seen.
Ms. Priyanshi?
Yes, sir. I have seen and responded to your message.
Yes,
Please
I presented the paper yesterday. I'm done with the paper. I'm just.
All right.
Okay. Let me
All right.
check. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for your valuable presence. I would now like to request everyone to kindly switch on your cameras for a quick snapshot.
I just wanted to have the certificate.
The certificate will be shared with you within 2 working days. Can everyone please turn on their cameras?
Oh, thank you. Wait.
Okay, I'll be taking the screenshot now. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much, everyone. It was great to have you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.